why don't we go ahead and get started at 6:01. Welcome to the Village Board meeting for Tuesday, October 14th. Now that little technical difficulty has been taken care of, welcome to the Village Board meeting for Tuesday, October 14th. It's 6:02 p.m. We're here in the Village Hall Boardroom. If everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Trustee Mishler, would you offer our land acknowledgement, please?
Before we begin this evening, we would like to recognize the Seneca Nation on whose ancestral territory we are gathering. The present-day village of Fairport sits on traditional Seneca land. The Seneca Nation with the Mohawk, Cayuga, Onondaga, Oneida, and Tuscarora make up the sovereign Haudenosaunee Confederacy. With respect, we acknowledge the people of the Seneca Nation on whose land we now live. We honor their past, present, and future contributions to and stewardship of this land.
Thank you. Megan, would you take roll call, please?
Trustee Wojka?
Hello.
Trustee Bonaski?
Evening.
Trustee Mishler?
Here.
Trustee Briggs?
Here.
Mayor Domeratz?
Here. You got one more.
And our student advisor, Xander Frasetto.
Here.
Welcome back, Xander. It's good to see you. Before we get started with Citizens Forum, I just wanted to talk to the board. We had to make a couple adjustments to the agenda for this evening. So there's an extra add-on item which everybody was emailed today for the appointment of a new student advisor. And I'd like us to insert that after Citizens Forum. And then due to some timing issues, there's an executive session scheduled at item number 14. And I'd like to move that up to the top to 1A right after that appointment. And then once we come back from executive session, we'll just jump into the unfinished business at the beginning of the agenda. I checked it out with most everybody, but Heidi and Tracy, you weren't here when we were talking about it. You okay with that? Okay. And I think that was it. Prepare yourselves when we get ready to do our meeting minutes because we'll be figuring out who's going to vote on each one of them. Yeah, Megan's going to help us, and Adam already helped me with figure that out. But that's in a few minutes. So let's continue on the agenda, and we'll get started with opening Citizens Forum at 6:04. And Megan, do you have the list over there? So Megan will call off the name on the list. If you would come up, please come on up to the microphone, state your name and your address. And we have a few policies. I'll keep it short and sweet. Please keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. You cannot cede time over to somebody else or take somebody else's time to spend more than that amount of time up at the microphone. Please direct your comments to the board members versus one individual person. And please be respectful of everybody who's speaking, as well as the board and all the rest of the folks in the room. And with that, go ahead and get started, Megan.
Bob Cantwell.
Good evening. Bob Cantwell, 3 Fifth Ave in the Village. My question here this evening is more or less, I understand that you won't be able to respond to this, but it's almost an awareness question that I have relative to the zoning code update and more specifically with regard to the accessory dwelling units. My apologies for not being in front of you. I've been out of town for about this last 6 weeks, so I haven't had a chance to go into this any a little bit further. But before I left town, I was very interested in the how the potential accessory dwelling units would be assessed from a tax standpoint. So I did go up to the town of Parenton assessor, who obviously, from most everybody knows, is responsible for doing the assessments in the village for village properties. My question to him was how in fact are accessory dwelling units assessed. I wasn't being a wise guy. I just, it was more or less just a question relative to that. So he did some research for me, and he had provided me basically some New York State Department of Taxation and Finance instructions for accessory dwelling units. And if I could, and I think I can still stick within the 5 minutes, under the general information of what he provided to me, he said that real property tax law, blah, 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 allows for a city, town, village, or school district that is not subject to Article 52 of the Education Law to adopt a local law or a resolution providing an exemption from taxation and special ad valorem levies. I might need some help on that definition from John. I'm not sure what that means. For capital improvements to residential new construction involving the creation of one or more accessory dwelling units. And it goes on and describes eligibility. And then further, it said the duration, under duration and computation of exemption, it says that the exemption is locally authorized, if the exemption is locally authorized. The increased and assessed value of eligible newly constructed accessory dwelling units shall be exempt from taxation for a period of 10 years. And there's some other qualifiers there. And then there's some thresholds relative to that. So my question to the board is whether in your or the consultant's due diligence relative to proposing accessory dwelling units, are we aware of that? We being the village, you being the village board, the consultant. And obviously the bottom line there is it's rather critical, because for any accessory dwelling units, should they be constructed, the rest of the taxpayers in the village are basically funding the cost of goods or cost of services under that enabling law. So that's kind of my my question to the board. Again,
Is your question, are we looking to do something like that? Or do we have an awareness that that can be done? Because just because something can be done doesn't mean that there might be any desire to do that.
I understand completely that, so thank you for clarifying that. But I guess my question is, under the village board's legal approaches to adopting any legislation, that's basically would be up to you, I think, relative to that policy. So I guess, again, my question is whether we are aware of it, to clarify, because that could be a rather important issue, especially with taxes, going nowhere but up, and again, if 100 people happen to take advantage of an accessory dwelling unit, it's 100 additional taxpayers, goods and services could be rather profound. So anyway, that was more or less just my question. So I would hope that at some point that, we could address that. I'd be happy to call Jill if that's the right thing to do.
I'll pass this along to Jill on behalf of the board.
Okay.
I can tell you for right now, nothing like that is proposed and nothing like that is planned.
Okay.
It's not even been a topic of discussion. It's nowhere in the code, and we've not discussed anything like that. So I can tell you that it is not in the plans at this time.
and with all due respect, Julie, are you aware that there was an awareness that that existed?
No, because it's up to what's presented to us. And I don't really think it's not in the zoning code to determine taxation.
Right.
It is part of the budgetary process to determine taxation. And this is going to get into a longer discussion, but it's not part of the zoning code.
Okay.
It's a completely separate
Well-
entity is taxation.
That's true. However, you're enabling accessory dwelling units as a classification within the village, and that's the caveat that allows that to
I'm
be
going to leave it at
considered.
that. I'm not gonna get into a back and forth.
Okay.
It's not part of the zoning code. That's what I can tell you.
Okay.
I'll be happy to pass it along to Jill, and if you would like to have a conversation with her, it's nothing that's proposed. We don't have any plans for any of that, and it would fall under a separate category having to do with our budget and how we deal with assessments.
Okay.
And right now, we're just waiting on the town of Perrington to decide what they're gonna do with assessments.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming, Bob. Okay, who's next on the list?
Luke Wells.
Hi, Luke.
I am and remain Luke Wells. I live at 9 4th Avenue in Fairport. I'm here on behalf of Color Fairport Green. Color Fairport Green is a grassroots, not-for-profit group of volunteers working toward a sustainable future in the village of Fairport, town of Perrington, and the surrounding community. It has been a whole year now since the committee you appointed, trustees, made their recommendations to you, the Village of Fairport Board of Trustees, concerning the village's sustainability plan. At the June 23rd, 2025 Village Board work session, Mayor Domeritz promised that she would take one section from the sustainability plan, namely the energy and procurement and environmental tasks section, and create a list of all the action items that had been presented in this section going way back to the original August 2010 sustainability plan. And then she would present these items to the board at the next meeting for their discussion, review, and action. Since there is no mention of any discussions about the sustainability plan by the board since that July 28th meeting, I'm asking the mayor and trustees, when will this critical work begin? You can't answer?
I will answer, but I'm waiting for you to finish.
That's done.
Wait, are you all
I'm
done?
done, yes.
Okay. We still have every intention of beginning this work. We've been a little overwhelmed, I would say, with working on the zoning code, and we have to get through this big project before we can really start that next project. But I assure you that we have every intention of moving forward on presenting the chapters and talking about them.
That's wonderful. When will you be done with the
I
zoning?
cannot, well, that I don't know yet. We're working on it. At our next work session, we'll be having another discussion about different topics in there.
Great. When's the next work session? Because it's not on the agenda. It's a TBD.
It will be set by the end of this meeting today.
Excellent.
It says TBD because we need to reschedule a date.
That's great. Thanks.
Thanks, Will. Luke. Okay. Who's next on our list?
Michael Santarello.
Michael Santarello, 10 Old Orchard. What's the scheduling for the trees? How are the trees, when they're gonna be there?
Sorry, which trees?
Main Street.
Oh,
All the 30, 60, however many trees, when are they gonna come in? Do we know?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
going to talk about
Oh,
it at
okay,
the
you
end of the
wanna
meeting
save-
tonight,
save-
but I'm happy to answer it right now. The project itself is intended to be substantially finished by October 31st. Trees will be going into the ground any point from later this month to, it could be as late as December.
Okay.
I just had this conversation with our Department of Public Works. The types of trees and the condition that the trees are coming in, they can be planted even after it starts snowing. So it will be as soon as the
Just
ground is
excited.
ready.
Some, you know, it's Christmas.
Yep, and I've been doing my best to update the webpage on the homepage of our website after this meeting, because we just had this conversation in the last day or so. I need to go up there and change the date and give that longer outlook that it's not going to be done necessarily by October 31st. The conversation we had a month or two ago was maybe the middle of September, but that tree planting time is slipping.
No, I think you answered the previous presenter. So the zoning code is sometime after the work session, there'll be some other meeting as far as the next steps go, or the result of that work session?
I'm going to go over that at the end of the meeting today. There's, we still have more discussion about the zoning code amongst the board and questions that they have about it. And once we've reached a conclusion of the questions that people have about, members of the board have about the zoning code, we'll start to follow the local law process. And that consists of, help me make sure that I get this right, correct me if I get it wrong. We will introduce the local law, which is the zoning code. So that happens at one meeting. We schedule a public hearing. That happens at another meeting. Possibly at that same meeting, can we do seeker at that same meeting?
Yes.
We have to do seeker, which is State Environmental Quality Review. And then we determine through a vote of adoption of the local law. So we have to adopt that seeker and then through the vote, so typically a local law process is about 2 months long.
Okay.
Can be 1.5.
That's good. I happen to have an incident at work. I'm a real estate attorney, and the Village of Webster has a similar ADU provision. I don't know if you took a look at that. I assume we have the provision regarding ADUs where the principal has to be an owner of record for the principal residence. No?
I'm going to suggest that you give Jill a call
Okay.
and ask Jill, or go look at, the code is, the draft code is sitting right up on our website.
That's the thing I tried to navigate. I'm 70 years old. I couldn't navigate the code, finding that provision. And is it just the code you don't have right now, for instance, proposals where they're italicized what you want to add and bracketed where you want to delete? Is that on the website? What?
There's
give me
a
some secrets to
section,
get in
there's
there.
a section in front of it. There are pages at the beginning. And those are things that have been added since that draft code was written. But I would really recommend, give Jill a call and she can clarify all of that for you.
All right.
I can add one point of clarification. I think what you're suggesting is trying to compare the old code to the new code.
Yes.
So because of the nature of the revisions, we're not going to be, and my suggestion when we do the local law process is not going to be italicizing or bracketing what additions and subtractions are happening. We're going to be effectively readopting the entire code. So on the website, you will see the comprehensive new code. You can also access on eCode 360 the old code. You'd have to obviously compare and contrast those provisions to see kind of what is changing and what is staying the same. But there isn't, I don't know that there's a comparison document because the revisions are fairly
Okay.
comprehensive.
Yes. Sure. The last thing was, with the Webster situation, they record when a property is subject to the ADU. And it's useful for somebody who is considering purchasing a house. I don't know if we were planning on doing the same thing of recording the agreement.
I would check in with Jill.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Do you need her phone number or anything? We can get it for you.
I'll walk down there and talk to somebody.
Okay.
I'll try harder on the website.
Okay, well, Jill can definitely talk you through those items. For anybody who's not familiar, Jill Weidrich is the village planner who's leading this project. Do we have somebody else?
Margaret Frank.
Come on up, Mrs. Frank.
Bring it down. Margaret Frank, 44 Park Circle Drive. I just wanted to thank the interim Chief Weber and Officer Schramm for being near the corner of South Main and Hulbert, and then on Park Circle Drive during dismissal at Brooks Hill Elementary School last week. It was either the 8th or 9th. Since I pick up my grandchildren, I've been here before talking about the concerns at that corner. Since I pick up my grandchildren every day at Brooks Hill in the afternoon, I often see cars go through the red light at Hulbert going north or south on Main Street. It was great to see the officers there to keep an eye on the intersection. As I've said in the past, the officers being there serve two purposes. One, to see how crazy the traffic can get and be a reminder for drivers to slow down. Actually, the cars were placed where people couldn't really see them, which was a good thing. Officer Schramm was kind of, you couldn't see him because sometimes the cars are right there and then people are going to slow down. One is to see how crazy the traffic can be and a reminder for drivers. And the second is a good thing for the students and the parents to see our officers at work, good PR. My grandson and his friends go by, hi, Officer Weber, hi, Officer Schramm. It would be great to see them more often. It'd be great to see them in the morning. I talked to Officer Weber about that. He said sometimes it's hard in the morning because the shifts change and such. Also, the second thing was I was very impressed with the documentary on WXXI, Reflections on the Erie Canal. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. Fairport was well represented in the documentary with comments made by Nancy Rogas from Parenting Partnership. She did an awesome job. And the Colonial Bell captain, it's worth viewing the documentary. And the third thing is it's great to see updates on Facebook pages for the Fairport Streetscape Project and the Main Street Bridge Project on Route 250. Whenever I see them, wherever I see them, I just blast them to my friends on my Facebook page. I don't know who's been producing them and who's paying for them, but they're great and they're professionally done. My hope is that they've been helping the businesses keep and attract more customers during the construction.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Last call. Okay. Then we will close Citizens Forum at 6:24, and we're going to move back onto our agenda. Thank you for everybody who came tonight and spoke. We appreciate hearing your comments. All right. So we're going to insert a separate item, and this is going to be inserted before the unfinished business to appoint a new student advisory member. I would like to ask for a motion to appoint Sean Gosson, a member of the Village of Fairport Student Advisory Committee commencing October 14th, 2025. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
By Trustee Mishler,
Second.
by Trustee Briggs. And would you like to discuss?
Sure. I would love to.
Then we can all add comments if we'd like.
Well, you all know that the student advisory program is something near and dear to my heart. It works twofold. It gives, I think, all of us board members an insight into some of our youngest residents' ideas and opinions about things, but also I think it gives our youth an opportunity to see how government works. So I know Sean, and I think he would be an amazing addition to Xander, who's also been a great asset to the board. So I'm hopeful that you all are interested in welcoming Sean.
Well, I am interested. Welcome, Sean.
I was just going to state, Sean, do you go to Fairport High School? So Sean is a senior at Fairport High School, and that's all I'm going to say.
He's a Barrington resident.
He's a Barrington resident, and
His
I think-
parents are in the
I think his
audience.
parents are here tonight. Welcome. Thank
Cheryl
you.
and Steve Gosson.
Thank you for coming this evening. Well, I'll just say welcome.
Yes, welcome.
We're looking
Glad to
forward to
have-
having
thank
you
you.
here. So hang on one second. We got to appoint you first, and then come on up, and if you want to get,
I love how
I don't
eager
know
he is.
if mom and dad want a picture or something, we can do it real quick, because by the time we get to the end of the meeting, you won't want to be here because it'll be a while. So can all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Then that is unanimous. You are, come on up.
Officially
You are
appointed.
now a member of the Village of Fairport Student Advisory Committee. Congratulations. Do you want to get a picture? We can all just move in front. All right, so for anybody who wanted to leave and didn't want to stay through the whole meeting, now is a good time.
Do you want to pull that down and do it with the flags and stuff?
I was just gonna have us move
Okay.
down here, but I can pull that down. Sandra, I don't know if we took pictures before or after.
Why don't you guys stand right up there?
It's just some. Thank you. Of course. I'm Julie. Nice to meet you, Sharon. Nice to meet you. Sean, nice to meet you. Sandra, we didn't do this. Did we take pictures afterwards? Congratulations. Sean's gonna take a seat up here at the dais, and Sandy's gonna take a seat in the first row, and then we'll alternate as we have future meetings when we have two folks. Okay. Thank you for being here this evening. Okay. So that takes us to our other change in our agenda. Before we move on, welcome. We're really happy that you're here. And again, welcome back. We're glad that both of you are here. This is great. So we are going to move item number 14, which is an executive session, to this point in time. And the board will go into executive session, we'll exit, go to the conference room, and then we'll come back out, and then we'll continue our meeting.
So welcome, Sean, and then we're gonna leave.
Yeah, so welcome, Sean. We're going to leave now. This doesn't happen normally. So item number 14, can I ask for a motion by the village board to enter into executive session for collective negotiations pursuant to Article 14 of Civil Service Law and for discussions regarding proposed pending or current litigation?
So move.
By trustee Benesky.
Second.
By trustee Wojtka. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? And that will be at 6:29. Got that, Megan? Okay. So we will exit. If you want to pause the recording, and we'll head to the conference room. You've got less than an hour, right? We'll get you there. Okay, we'll get you there. All right, so we're going to return to the agenda, and we will start at unfinished business. So the first item, and I'm going to specify who is able to make these motions and vote on the first one. That's Tracy, Emily, and myself who were in attendance at this meeting. So can I have a motion by the village board to approve the meeting minutes of the July 11th, 2025 village board meeting?
So moved.
By trustee Mishler,
Second.
by, by trustee Briggs. And I will ask for the votes abstaining, so you can vote then. All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, I had just a clarification.
Oh, sure.
On the special event, it says concerns from a board member that surrounding the overall application process. There were board members who thought the application was still in draft form. It's still my understanding that our application is in draft form. It's never been adopted. So I just wanted to make that clarification, that still is something that has to be worked on and approved.
Anything else? Megan, can you make that adjustment?
I'll
Is-
add it to the commentary from tonight.
Okay,
The minutes tonight, yeah.
okay,
That was it.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining?
Aye.
Okay, on to the next one. This is for Tracy, Adam, and myself. I believe, is that correct? Correct? Okay. So a motion by the village board to approve the minutes of the August 11th, 2025 board meeting. Can I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
By trustee, man, my brain is not working tonight. By trustee Banowski, by Adam. Can I have a second?
Okay, but I attended that meeting remotely. Does that count? Right. I'm pretty sure that was when I was remote and
I think that-
we had failed technology, but I didn't.
I think that was the work session. This was just the regular August meeting.
Who do you have in attendance for that meeting?
Adam, Tracy, and you.
And me. I think you would have had to have been here.
Okay.
You were making motions.
Well, I'm always making a commotion. Come on. Okay, I'm confused. One of them was like Facebook technology and all of that. That's not that meeting.
Or that might
Okay.
have been one of the June ones that you said we
There's
still have to
still-
swing back
yeah,
around.
More
so-
common, okay.
There are still
I
some,
second.
okay, there we go.
Well, if you were making motions, you were there.
That was August 6th.
I was
This was
gonna thank
after
you
that.
for keeping your phone open like a little phantom.
Okay, so Adam made the motion, Tracy made the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? And sustaining, anybody sustaining? Abstaining, oh my goodness, abstaining.
I am abstaining.
And I am
Trustee
abstaining.
Mishler.
Okay, there we go. All right, item number 3, all right, help me out here. Is everybody here for this particular meeting?
Trustee Briggs has to abstain in the
From this one?
I have that too.
September, yes.
Okay. A motion by the village board to approve the meeting minutes of September 8th village board meeting.
So moved.
By trustee Wojtka,
Second.
by trustee Banowski. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And those abstaining. I'm going to choose to abstain because I wasn't here in person. And,
I'll abstain as well.
okay. Everybody was here for this next meeting. Can I have a motion by the village board to approve the meeting minutes of September 22nd, 2025 village board work session?
So moved.
By trustee Mishler,
Second.
by trustee Wojka. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? That will be unanimous. And then there are still a few remaining that somehow got left off, and Megan will make sure that they are included on our next work session, our next meeting, whatever that is, whatever that date is, she will include those on that meeting so that we get these things all caught up. So everybody's aware. I don't know what I did with my pen when we went in there.
Here, you can use mine.
Oh, it's okay. You have an extra pen, can I? Oh, that's your stylus. Never mind. Thank you.
Adam has a plethora of pens.
I do too. Did I leave it sitting in there? I don't know where I stuck it. It's okay. Doesn't matter. Emily was nice and she shared. All right, so we finished unfinished business. That moves us on to new business, which is something that I was getting ready to go look up and see when it was happening. So I'm thrilled it's on here. Item number 1 is a motion by the village board to authorize the town of Parrington to hold the annual Halloween parade on Friday, October 24th, starting at 6 p.m. The parade will begin at Joanna Perrin Middle School parking lot and travel down Potter Place, ending at Potter Memorial Park. Potter Place will be closed to traffic for the duration of the parade. Can I have a motion and a second?
Or so moved. I was gonna do it all in one.
It's
First and
spreading.
second and.
It's spreading.
I'll second that.
Trustee Mishler and trustee Banowski. Discussion. I'm so glad that this is on here because I was going, what day is it?
The town already has this posted, so.
That's great.
They were
on my
definitely
calendar.
hoping we were gonna approve this tonight.
No, it's always fun to see everybody come out, and it's just, a great community event, and, you got the cider and the donuts afterwards, the costume competition, and
Our Fairport Fire Department will be serving the donuts and the cider, correct?
I believe so.
I was gonna say they bring a
I mean,
fire
they usually
truck.
are.
And they do the fire truck. It's wonderful.
Anything else?
Get your costumes ready.
Yep, get your costumes ready. It's the week before Halloween, because Halloween falls on a Friday this year. All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That will be unanimous. Okay, here, it's all on one side. All right. Item number 2 is a motion by the village board to authorize the clerk treasurer to make the following budget transfers as itemized below. What that means is I am not going to read each one of these aloud. Can I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
By trustee Banowski?
Second.
By trustee Briggs? Discussion? Megan, can you give us a very brief overview of what all of these are?
Yeah, I'm just trying to do these more timely for you guys instead of doing a bunch of them at the end of the year. Just our general liability insurance. I mean, our budget was off by $3,500. We have our last bill that was included in the bills that were approved, that will be approved tonight. But that's, $3,500 isn't bad. Clerk treasurer, we're going to be having bond closing costs this spring when we convert the ban into a bond, and those are gonna be a little higher than I had anticipated. Central garage, we have to do repair work to truck 7. That was in an accident this past spring, but we got insurance proceeds, so that's also in this budget amendment. That's just increasing both of those. And just as we're getting purchase orders, just some things were off a couple $100 and moving the money, in real time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions for Megan about this? I can see through. Does Heidi have any questions? Okay, then if there are no questions, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
If this is helpful to do this periodically, then towards the end, that's great.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Then that will be unanimous, which gets us to item number 3, a motion to approve a resolution authorizing additional expenditures from the general capital reserve for the full year 2025-2026 capital expenditure plan. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
By trustee Manosky,
Second.
by trustee Boyka. So this is,
It kind of goes hand in hand with the motion
It's
from
the one
before.
before.
If I had to increase a budget for an item that's financed through a reserve, then I also have to get your approval to take money from that reserve, even if it's $1 above what we budgeted for. So those signs going on East Church Street and West Church Street, we were really close, but they came in $600 over budget, so that's all that is.
any questions from the board for Megan on this particular item?
These are the additional signs that just went up, correct? Oh. Okay, I understand. Sure. Thank you.
Now I know what signs you're talking about.
That helped. Thank you.
Thank you for the sign.
Good question. Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Then that will be unanimous, and that moves us to item number 4. Item number 4, I need a motion to approve a resolution authorizing additional expenditures from the Fire Equipment Capital Reserve for the full year 2025-2026 capital expenditure plan. Can I have a motion and a second, please? Motion?
So moved. Second.
Trustee Briggs?
Trustee Briggs got it? Okay. Trustee Briggs, and you were second, right?
Trustee Wake.
Trustee Wojcika, okay. This is a competition. All right.
Same thing. The
I know it's all
thermal
gonna be the same,
imaging
but-
cameras, when we got the purchase order, was $400 over the budget. And then last meeting, we had gotten board approval for a budget amendment for turnout gear for new members of the fire department. We got the purchase order for that, so now I'm asking, we had told you we were gonna use the reserve money, so now I'm asking to take the reserve money, now that we have the purchase order.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? That will be unanimous as well. And then number 5, a motion by the village board, the Village of Fairport to appropriate fund balance of $30,000 to fund the purchase of additional catch basins and to authorize the clerk treasurer to make the following budget amendment. And there are 2 items here, A8540.4, storm sewer drainage contractual, which is $30,000, A.5999, appropriated fund balance, so it's the negative $30,000 to fund the drainage contractual. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved.
By trustee Banowski,
Second.
by trustee Mishler. Any questions for Megan about this one?
So, real quick, were these on like the streets that we were redoing when we ran into?
So this, Brian, Jason, and I kind of sat down. I think you're going to be seeing this every year. It's just a change in ideology, I guess. The catch basins have to be purchased so far in advance before the street program begins. So they were purchased last September. And then we don't know which catch basins at the time we're going to use for which projects. We don't know if it's going to be a CHIPS project or not. So we budget for it in the general fund. We used 29,000 and change and was able to get it reimbursed through CHIPS. So that money was returned to the general fund in May and fell down to fund balance. So you had a surplus of about 30,000 at the end of the year because you got CHIPS money. So now the DPW would like us to always reappropriate that for more catch basins because they always have to have them on hand. So it's kind of just, recycling the money back into the catch basin program.
Yeah, since we're always tend to be using it, you might as well get in the habit of just saving for it anyway.
Yeah.
With the cash flow being that if the street is not CHIPS eligible, meaning we're not doing paving on that street, then those don't get reimbursed for iron work on those streets.
For example, the catch basins that we're doing on West Church next week, or this week, correct?
Those are manholes.
Manholes, oh, manholes. I'm sorry. Okay. Gotcha, sorry. Manholes, not catch basins,
Well, it just doesn't matter, it's not a CHIPS project because we're not.
not paving the road. Okay. I can't wait till those are done.
We're supposed to begin the season, and this project started.
And you're talking to the microphone.
Yeah, we wanted to do that at the beginning of the season just to get it all taken care of because we knew the increased traffic flow we would have on it. Contractor pulled out at the end, we couldn't get them back in, and then it's never a good time to, what's that?
I recall we
Yeah, we were
approved it a
gonna
long
do
time
it,
ago.
and they pulled out at the end, and we couldn't get them back for scheduling. And then, quite frankly, we didn't want to, that's the only corridor that you could pass through in the village, going east and west. And to have that down to one lane plus Main Street block was just not an ideal situation. So we were waiting for for Millennium, the streetscape contract to be away from that intersection, which they're just exited about a couple days ago, and we'll get another contractor back in to start working on West Church Street, so it'll get busy again.
Anything else? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That'll be unanimous. Item number 6, a motion by the village board to authorize the clerk treasurer to transfer the proceeds of $4,100 to the general capital reserve arising from additional state aid reimbursement under the New York State CHIPS program for the 2025 street rehabilitation projects. Can I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
By trustee Waika, seconded by trustee Banowski, correct?
Sounds good.
Yep.
Okay. Questions about that one?
This was just, we had planned to use reserve money, and we did use reserve money to pay for design costs for Railroad Street and Briggs. And then we were able to get reimbursement through CHIPS that we hadn't planned on. So once we got that reimbursement, I wanted to reimburse the reserve fund and put that money back in there. So that's all that is.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That will take us to number 7, a motion by the village board to transfer $600,000 to the general capital reserve in accordance with the village fund balance policy as of May 31st, 2025.
So move. Oh,
By trustee Banowski,
Second.
by trustee Briggs. And this is what we've discussed previously of transferring fund balance into the capital reserves to help fund future projects. Any questions? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That will be unanimous. Item number 8, a motion by the village board to accept the September 2025 financial statements for the village of Fairport. Can I have a motion and a
So
second?
moved.
By trustee Briggs, seconded by trustee Mishler. Any questions about the financial statements from Megan? We're keeping you busy tonight. Is everybody okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? That'll be unanimous. Item number 9. Okay, this is this end down here. All right, a motion by the village board to authorize payment of audited bills.
I'll go first. Okay. I reviewed the bills for this month and found everything to be in order.
Woika,
I have also reviewed the bills this month and I found everything to be in order.
and Banowski. And just for everybody's understanding, it was suggested to us that if there were bills from the company that Adam works with, if any of those were in our monthly bills, to have an additional person overlook those bills to make sure that there was complete ethics involved with that, and there were none of those bills this month. So we followed the ethical guidelines as set forth by our attorney. Any questions? Go
Do you
ahead.
need a volunteer to assist with that as well? Because I'd be
Only
more
if
than happy
something
to.
shows up, or
Okay.
we'll,
I'll-
we're
Offering my
doing it- we're
services
doing
if you
on
need
an
it.
as-needed
Okay.
basis.
I'll be on call.
Okay.
Oh, 2.222 tons.
Yep.
Oh, great.
4,441 pounds of compost.
Okay.
Organic matter diverted from the landfill.
Yes, 2.22 tons. Okay. For anybody who's keeping track, that is how much our composting program has kept out of the landfill this past month. Was
That's about
two.
average.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's about average. We usually do a little over 2 tons a month.
And the reason you disclose this during the bills is because it's identified on the Impact Earth bill every month.
That's
Yes.
right. And that way I just remember.
Okay, with that all said, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Those bills have been audited and they are to be paid. Item number 10 is a motion by the village board to amend the previously approved amount of $60,000 to pay health and dental insurance premiums paid in the month of October to $55,426.66.
So moved.
By trustee Mishler,
Second?
by trustee Briggs. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That'll be unanimous. Item number 11 is a motion by the village board to authorize the clerk treasurer to pay health and insurance dental premiums for the month of November in an initial estimated amount not to exceed $60,000, subject to audit and amending authorization by the village board at their regularly scheduled November meeting.
So moved.
By trustee Briggs and
Second?
second by trustee Woika. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? That will be unanimous. Before we do any announcements and committee reports, I asked everybody to bring their calendar tonight because we need to reschedule our, the date for the work session for later this month. And the topic at the work session will be zoning code. So are there other nights available that week, Brian?
For me, not the week of 27th, I'm just out of town at a conference, but if it's just zoning code, maybe it's something you guys can't do unless you're doing other things.
I don't know if you're gonna have other things that you want, well, we're gonna have meeting minutes to approve. I think we can handle that.
If you make it just a zoning working group session for the most part, like a work session for that, you guys can keep it at the same time if you'd like. If it's something where we're gonna do other types of things, then depending on what those subject matters are, whether I need to be here or not.
Could we add zoning code, but then if we have time, add the sustainability, since Luke is patiently waiting to add it?
Let's take a look and see how much we have left to do for
Okay.
zoning code.
Okay.
And make it tentative that we can try and do that. So then why don't we plan that evening? Because I think both of those, Jill's going to attend, so she'll be here.
Correct.
And I don't know if we need John here that evening. I'll let you guys figure that out because that's not my job to figure that out.
27th.
So just confirm, we are saying the 27th.
Yes, we're
Okay.
gonna leave it the 27th, which is the date that it was originally scheduled for, correct? Okay, so the upcoming village board meetings, the next village board work session will be Monday, October 27th, 2025, at 6 PM here in the Village Hall Boardroom. The regular village board meeting will be scheduled for Monday, November 10th, 2025, at 6 PM here in the Village Hall Boardroom. And I'll be sending out some mailings this week about the topics for next week, or for the next work session. And you can just watch your mail and I'll be looking for some input for all of us for there. Okay, so now we've gone through and we've done number 13. Let's go back and do number 12 and announcements and committee reports. Tracy, did you have anything that you wanted to share?
Sure. The third week of September, I had the pleasure of attending the NICOM Fall School. That's a week-long training for elected officials. So thank you to the community, because I very much appreciate this education and an opportunity to grow and to serve you better and to have a better understanding. This year, Megan and Jean were there. They did all sorts of clerk things. I took some workshops on municipal law, open government, best practices, problematic employees, benefits, packaging, open meeting law, and festivals and permit. So again, thank you that I get this training yearly. The second thing is we had our Public Arts Committee meeting earlier this week. Two main things. We went over and our DRI art project submissions and saw that Jana got those. And then we planned our agenda for our yearly planning retreat. We tried to do it really early before, holidays and the fall and, January. So that will be happening this Saturday. And a public announcement. Pat Rapp, the committee chair, talked with Janine Peluzio, who owns the Stony Point Art Gallery on Main Street. And any artworks from our plein air event are on display this month. So we had a First Friday opening in conjunction with First Fridays in the City, which was really kind of exciting, and they helped advertise the event. So just thank you for that. And any unsold artworks are on display this week, or this month, till the end of the month. And our parade. But that's it.
Great. Anything that you'd like to share, Trustee Michelin?
Sure. I attended the OSED meeting. This is now almost a month old, so it was September 15th, but that was the last meeting that I had been to. I will be attending this month's meeting as well. Jana McCooey has been working with the village with ongoing DRI meetings. I think there's an anticipated submission deadline for the end of October for the DRI projects. They've had 3 private projects that have been submitted, and there's been, at that point, there was a double verbal commitments for new projects. Potential application for the First Baptist Church, which is exciting. And there was a public engagement meeting or event that took place on September 17th. And I know at that meeting, which was, I think, fairly well attended, there was some preliminary concepts for Kennelly Park, the Kennelly Park potential project. And again, this was the 15th, these minutes are from the 15th of September. So I'm sure there's more to be updated on this. We had the Canal Conference visit our village which was really fabulous. We took a couple field trips and went down to see the boat launch, the wheelchair accessible boat launch. They had an opportunity to tour the lift bridge. What do you call it? The tower. The lift bridge tower.
The bridge tender.
Yes, the bridge tender tower. And they got to see how that worked. And they were super excited. They were coming from Buffalo, and it was just great. They ended up having a tour at Iron Smoke and just really thrilled. Had a dinner at Campagna. They had a full day, which was really great. And
that's a world conference that's attended very well. So that's pretty exciting too, that people, canal lovers from around the world, I mean, big attendance. And one of their side trips was coming here to see us.
yeah, and they were just completely in awe of our community. Just very, very thrilled and excited about everything that they saw. There is a new little, I guess a parklet, it's what it's called. It's a tiny park in memory of Tom Grasso, who is the former president of the Canal Corporation. On the north bank of our canal over here, across from where Colonial Bell typically moors, So that was a nice dedication. I think the mayor was in attendance for that dedication.
Our DPW constructed that.
It was beautiful.
They
Really
did a fantastic job.
beautiful job.
Did they use the lock parts?
No, this is just it's a
Yeah.
pad. And then there's a plaque and,
So, and then the 200th anniversary birthday party, that was amazing. We had our Seneca chief come through, and we welcomed the Seneca chief and all those on board, which was really incredible. Just so much going on. We had Oktoberfest, we had Plein Air Festival. We've had a very busy month, so I'll stop there.
okay.
I was in attendance for almost every single one of those things, so it was great.
Sorry, I can't ask you guys how school's going, but I'm gonna move down here.
But he
and-
did go to leadership, so he might have something to say.
Yeah,
He went to the leadership conference. Sean did.
Sean did, okay. Next
In
time.
DC?
Next time, we want a brief report on what you did at leadership conference. Heidi, go ahead.
All right. I don't have a whole lot of announcements. I was so glad to be a part of all of the different happenings throughout the village for that whole weekend of the Erie Canal Bicentennial celebration. Also, it is leaf season. Make sure your leaves are not in the road. Make sure they are in the tree lawn, on your yard,
Or mulched.
or mulched back into your
Buy your
yard.
lawnmower.
Even
Do
better.
not put them in gutters.
Do not put them in the gutter. Please put the leaves in the tree lawn. Thank you. Our DPW thanks you.
The sewer department, or the storm sewer department thanks you.
And everyone driving. That's all I got.
What you got, Adam?
Yeah, all right, so on September 24th, the tree board met, and what was great is they updated the tree maintenance and planting standards. So that's fantastic. They've been spending about a year going through, making sure that they're up on all the latest and the greatest on that. They've also been working through maybe some website updates. I think they've been maybe communicating or coordinating with you, Julie, on that.
I'm
there.
working on it.
Yep. So that's exciting as well. I thought Oktoberfest was a blast. I don't know if anybody else noticed, but I noticed that the cups, the silverware, the plates, and even the wrappings that the silverware came in were all compostable. So thank you very much for doing that as a bonus point, at least in my brain. I thought the Seneca Chief was great. I want to thank our staff, the partnership, and the Colonial Bell for playing such a key part. It was really fun to kind of walk in and walk through the boat, learn about the history, and little nuggets for, I don't know if any of us are ever on Jeopardy at some point. I guess a little closer to home, Roselawn, Beardsley, and Packabout have all been repaved, and they have all new gutters. It looks fantastic, and again, to the DPW, they were pulling some hours to make that work. So I wanted to thank them on that as well. Finally, had a chance to go to the APA Upstate Conference, gave a presentation on neighborhood design, but then also had a chance to learn about opportunities related to any brownfield redevelopment sites. I already knew a little bit about them, but it was good to have a refresher and learn what other programs are out there. So, as we're looking at other sites or we know of any property owners who might be on a brownfield area, it's might be worth pointing out to them that there are some incentives for upkeep or if they have any projects in mind for their property. Learned also about some sustainability programs that have been going on in the state, particular with Cornell. There's some neat things that you can do with them there. And then one that was kind of interesting too was actually also how to when working out the design of public places, how to consider different experiences, and because many of the experiences are usually designed with kind of like a guy's perspective, rather than children or a lady's perspective, and so that was interesting to reframe or re-examine how I go through that as well. So. all I got.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I attended the Fairport Municipal Commission meeting this morning, and I would proudly like to announce that our electric superintendent, Matt Hegarty, was named MUA, which is Municipal Electric Utilities Association Person of the Year. He's been named MUA Person of the Year previously a long time ago, but he's now the owner of that award for 2025. Jill Weidrich, our village planner, gave a presentation at the APA conference that you attended that was about the zoning code update, which was very well received. Attention, everybody, the canal closes November 3rd. In addition to finishing up the work on Beardsley, Packet Boat, and Roselawn, there are still patches of sidewalk throughout our village that the DPW will be working on tidying up and completing over the next couple of weeks, along with there's little odds and ends that are finishing. So I'm glad they look like they're mostly done, but the DPW, you may still see them out there on Beardsley, Packet Boat, and Roselawn completing things. For anyone who was trying to drive down Main Street today, and our UPS driver who drops things at the Village Hall was trying to figure out how to get across the street from our back parking lot to just across the street to the Village Landing was a little bit of a challenge today. This side of the street for the parking lot entrance, the blinking light just south of Village Hall, and every other entrance right here was blocked off. And we're like, well, go over the bridge and go to Lift Bridge Lane and come back around. And he said, do you know that they have ripped up in front of RV&E as well? So basically, there was like an entire construction zone. I just want to tell everybody, it wasn't just the Village of Fairport out there working. It wasn't just New York State that was out there working. It was the Monroe County Water Authority that was out there working on Main Street. So you can expect over the next few days that you may see Monroe County Water Authority fixing some of the places that they've been cutting into our Main Street over the last couple of months. So it will end. There is an end. It is very near and in sight. There's light at the end of the tunnel. The trees will be coming back, and sooner or later, construction will end, and it will end in the next month or so. With that said, we're going to be beginning some work to plan a ribbon cutting for Main Street, just to celebrate all of this work and effort and funding that went into the revitalization of our sidewalks, trees, streetlights, electric lines, curbs. They were cutting up Main Street today right in front of Village Hall, but they were putting new crosswalks in. So there will be new crosswalks. All of those things are included in this, and that's just our part of the Main Street construction. We'll be working on a date. I promise that we will make sure that everybody's invited, and that while it will be a short ribbon cutting, that we'll at least have an opportunity to pause and notice all the work that's happened in our community over the last 6 months. Let's see, I got that one. I think that is the end of my list, at least for tonight. So if there are no other questions or comments, we have a date for our next meeting. Pardon? It's the same day. We're not changing it. With that, I would like to say congratulations to Sean tonight, and welcome back, Xander. And I would like to ask the village board for a motion to adjourn. Did I miss anything, did I?
So
Okay.
moved.
Trustee Mishler?
Second.
Ty will go to the lady at the end. Trustee Briggs? And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We're going to call that a wrap. Thank you, everybody who joined us and stayed for this extensively long meeting. And have a good night. Drive carefully. Try not to hit any of the construction on Main Street. It will end.